You might have had the experience, you're at a social gathering and all of a sudden you turn around and your spouse is doing something that embarrasses you. In a case like that, what do you do?
Well, first, let's cut through the code language here. Studio 5 relationship coach Matt Townsend is here to help us with this situation. But first, I mean, we say spouse, but really, what are we talking about here?
We're talking about
normally
husband.
Embarrasses
We're talking about your husband, because I don't see a lot of men being really embarrassed
by their wives.
And even if they were, they'd probably, whatever. Let's get over it. I pull out one kidney stone and start showing it to everybody at my birthday, and my wife freaks out. She's like, you don't show your kidney stones.
Okay, so we're not going to fancy foot around this anymore. So now we know who it is. What can we do about it?
Men tend to embarrass. Now, there's nobody that embarrasses people more than me embarrassing my wife.
Okay.
Because I get to speak a lot, so she hears a lot of stories. But here's the key. Just because I do something that's embarrassing, it doesn't mean I'm the problem. Because sometimes the problem is actually you.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen. I say the man in the group. You know?
Because some people are really sensitive. So your first rule is you have to identify the real source of embarrassment. Like at church yesterday, I have a daughter that's really socially aware, and she hates it when anyone is making noise at church, even though all of her brothers are younger. So she's really freaking out, like, do something with your kids. And I'm like, I'm good with it, whatever. But so she's real socially aware. If you're overly sensitive, you may be the reason you feel so much embarrassment. You also may be married to a klutz or a ditz that does something stupid. But in the end, if you're really sensitive, this is kind of your problem, not their problem, right? And you have to identify that.
Now, and this one where you talk about anticipating the embarrassment, this is like a kid thing to me. Like, set your spouse up for success.
You know your kid can't dress himself.
Don't take your kid dancing.
That's exactly
right. Don't take your spouse dancing.
That's exactly right. This, every time I think of this one, when I made one mistake once of speaking with my zipper down in front of hundreds of people, okay? So every single time I'm at a speech with my wife, she anticipates the embarrassing. She leans to me. She doesn't say, hey, you big stud, you're going to nail this one. She doesn't say that. She says, is your zipper up?
That's all that matters.
And so she's actually trying to anticipate what the problems could be. If we go out to dinner and we're going out with certain people, she'll always tell me ahead of time, look, don't spend too much time talking about this, because you always get stuck there with them. Or let's make sure we talk to everybody. She actually guides me and kind of anticipates it. It's exactly what moms do with kids, right? Don't pick your nose, Larry, you know, kind of stuff.
We're going to have spaghetti with red sauce, wear the red shirt.
That's right, and put this bib around you.
And if you're doing dancing and the husband embarrasses you when you're dancing, then just know that's going to happen, and you're going to be embarrassed.
And laugh with them.
Ha ha ha.
Be prepared for it.
And then here's the key. You laugh through the moment that's embarrassing. Because, by the way, the more of a scene you make, the more embarrassing this gets. So kind of let the emotion go. If you want to correct it, don't ever correct it when emotion is high. Correct it later when the emotion is low, right? So we're going to discuss the issue when we're away from the embarrassing moment, and then we're going to talk about it, and we're going to try to formalize some learning.
So if in the situation, the husband turns around, starts making some funny joke that's not funny, or doing some weird kind of impression or something like that, just let it go then, and you bring it up when? I would
just smile it through, go with the flow, and then either in the car when you're driving back to your house, or when kind of maybe you're getting in a car and going somewhere else, I would talk it when the emotion's a little lower, when you're not in the situation. Have you ever seen friends be embarrassed by each other and then blow up on each other, and then it creates a real event?
Oh, yeah.
So the idea with this is just let it go. Most of the people don't even know what you're feeling. Most of them are just going to judge your husband, really not you. So if you want to correct this, let the emotion of the event go, and then later, I would literally make sure by night or by the next morning we're talking about it. Hey, honey, when you start taking your shirt off and moving your belly in that weird way, that really makes me feel awkward when we're out to dinner. Stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Your husband doesn't do that, right?
I tried it once. It bugs her.
And then is that the time where you kind of set some rules for the future?
The shirt on rule. So you'd then make a rule, we're leaving our shirt on, honey. Or you're going to make sure your pants reach below your ankles. And you make rules for what makes you so embarrassed. My wife has the is your zipper up rule. And literally it's now a joke. But she literally will say that every time I'm speaking and she's around. Is your zipper up?
Okay, I don't want to turn this into a beat up on the husbands who do entertaining, funny things that everybody else enjoys except for the wife. So are there times that the husband can then also say, hey, well, here are my embarrassment rules. It doesn't embarrass me. Can you just learn to live with that?
Can you take a deep breath? Deep breath, hon. Deep breath. I have clients that when they don't like when their wife's being too uptight or something at dinner he'll just go like this.
Settle down.
Yeah, or like a little hand gesture. And she actually goes like this when she doesn't like what he's saying. So they have these little hand gestures, and then it turns more vulgar. But they need to stop that because they should talk about it. But part of this is just learning together. We've got the rest of our lives, and I honestly believe we're just going to get more embarrassing. You know what I mean? Yeah. When I'm 90, I'm going to be unchained.
Oh, yeah.
What are they going to do to me? What are you going to do to me? Put me away? Whatever.
And everyone else could find whatever you find annoying endearing. And
some people love it and they think it's great. And the other thing is, don't be finishing your husband's jokes. Sometimes you've heard him so many times. We have friends that the minute he goes, have you guys heard this when he starts to say it? She's like, they've heard it.
And the dog went to the bar. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, I was just saying, I heard such great things about your Valentine's Day date night, and you have another big one.
We're taking Peter, and we're going Peter Breinholt, and we're going down to St. George. This spring break, March 29th, 2013, 7 p.m., the Eccles Arts Center on the main stage down there in, what's it called? St. George, Dixieland. If you enter in Studio 5, just go to our website, datenightswithmatt.com, enter Studio 5, you get 10% off. They're fun. They're so great.
You old Highland High School boys.
I know, we hang out.
Two of my favorite people.
Good times.
Great event. If you'd like more information, we've got that information on our website, plus all the information you want to know about what happens when your husband or spouse.
This will be a very embarrassing night, by the way.
Yeah.
A zipper will be up.
That's exactly right.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, guys.